Hi everyone, this is Larilyn. Today I will be demonstrating sewing a faux leather material on my Singer 1588. It's a 1938 machine, 85 years old. So again, I've got this faux leather material and watch me sew. All right, so I have my faux leather material, as you can see here. This is the back of the trouser pant here. I have my seam allowance 1/2 inch pre-marked. And I'm going to start with a back stitch. So my feet are on the manual treadle pedal here. Give it a couple spins back to back tack and align my stitches to the proper width that I want and get that hand wheel going. And I think we're getting there. And this is again 2 layers of the faux leather that I have here. I'm working. My feet are kind of slipping with my sewing socks there. There we go. And it's going. Takes a little while, takes a little effort, but for almost 90 years old, not bad. Couple back stitches. And let's see what this looks like. All right, guys, look at those uniform stitches. Not bad for 85 years old. Okay, guys, so here I have my contoured waistband, and I have the notches on the waistband to correspond with the notches on the front of the pant. So you want to make sure that you line that up properly. And once those notches are properly lined up, you're going to stitch the waistband into the top of the pant. And I'll be using the Vintagesinger 1588 for that as well. Okay, so once the waistband is pinned, and I did go back and interface just to make sure it's a little bit more sturdy or stable, and make sure those notches are lined up properly. And we're going to just stitch right into the top of the pant at the 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right, guys, so I have my 1/2 inch seam allowance marked. I decided to go ahead and put a zipper in, so I did go ahead and cut that waistband, into 2. So I've already backstitched, and I'm just gonna get the treadle going, feet on the pedal, get this hand wheel going to get these stitches going. And again, it takes a little footwork, a little coordination, but once you get going, it's not so bad. So here we go. All right, so it's not, a fancy machine, but it gets the job done with these beautiful straight stitches. You can kind of hear my foot pedal giving me a good workout here. So you gotta have a little coordination when you're doing this. Little coordination. Okay, so here we go. I've kind of had to move the side a little bit. All right. Okay, so I have my 1/2 inch seam allowance lined up on the waistband of the pant here. I have the waistband clipped to the actual top portion of the trouser pant. And again, this is the full leather that I'm working with, and I'll be sewing this on my Vintagesinger 1588 model. All right, so I'm going to do 1 back stitch to lock that stitch in. And remember, you're having to use the foot pedal along with the hand wheel on this treadle machine to get those initial stitches going. And once that hand wheel starts going, I start moving my foot pedal to get the stitches to actually form. And sometimes my feet actually slip when I'm using my sewing socks. so I have to be just a little diligent when I'm doing it, just to make sure that I'm not causing any damage to my fingers or anything else in the way. All right, so once that hand wheel goes, you get your foot pedal going, and that helps those stitches to form. So sometimes it takes a little effort, again, with getting the tension just right on the specific fabric that you're using. And this faux leather can be just a little sticky too. All right, so I'm sewing down my zipper onto the fly, and I've switched to my Juki HZL F600 because it does have the Teflon foot that helps with the stickiness of this faux leather. Back stitch. And I'm just sewing it down along the edges of the fly. So it seems like it's moved just a tad. So I want to go back and realign that to the edges just to make sure it's consistent. All right. And back stitch there and continue. I'm going to sew that all the way down to the end. And back stitch. All right, so I have my zipper, that one portion or one half of my zipper sewn onto the fly here. Okay guys, I'm going to attempt to do some top stitching of the fly, that traditional L shape or J shape that you see here. You can see the zipper underneath. You get a little closer look there. And I'm going to stitch from below the waistband all the way down in that traditional J shape. And I chose to do this one because, again, I have the Teflon foot, and the faux leather tends to get a little slippery. And I have to go through all of these layers. Okay, so that's decent looking. Just gonna try to continue in that straight line and just curve as I move towards the center of that zipper. It takes just a little effort with, again, this leather-like material. And back stitch there. All right, so that's kind of what it looks like there. That's that traditional fly that you see. And that's my zipper on the inside. Alrighty, so I have progressed to sewing the front to the back, and I'm starting with the inseam. Oh, there's something weird. Alright guys, so I have moved on to stitching the front to the back, and just like you did the outseam, you're going to do the same thing to the inseam. And I actually tried the pant on, and as I tried it on, I noticed that the initial ½ inch was just a little bigger. A little ½ inch was bigger than what I wanted, so I came in another 1/8 of an inch to do the 5/8 all the way around. And we're just gonna continue with that 5/8 all the way to the top. I tell you, it's some footwork with this treadle, but you just want to make sure everything is a line, and you want to keep those stitches straight. So you're just going to continue all the way around to the top, both inseam and outseam. All right, so I have moved on to the Juki 1181N. It's my industrial machine that I use for the decorative top stitching. And I'm gonna do that here on the waistband. I really like the uniform stitches of this machine. The reviews that I've read regarding the Singer 1588 are great. I have not experimented enough yet with the different types of needles. I do have top stitching needles, but because, you know, this is a project that I actually have a deadline for, because it's a part of a set, I just decided to go ahead and switch to the industrial that does it best for me. And I always make sure that I get back stitching in at that portion as well. And I will let you guys see the outcome. And these pants will also have a lining. I like to put a lining in just to extend the life of the garment. So look at that. Turn my light around there. Come on, light. You either love these lights or you hate them. All right, so that's my top stitching here. That's the back portion of the pants. And again, I did the top stitching earlier on the front. And if you missed the video where I did the fly, I did some top stitching along the fly of the zipper opening there as well. So I will finish the lining on these and the hem and give you guys a look. But so far, I am pleased. All right, so here's a closer look, up close look of the faux leather pants. So far, so good. So now, since we have the front waistband attached and top stitched, and then we have the back waistband attached and top stitched, in this portion, remember, we also interface just for that stability, okay? So those same pieces that I used before from my pattern, I'm going to attach together because it's gonna go in one piece. So you've got your whole back waistband here that was cut on the fold, and you're going to sew that to each end of a front piece and another front piece over here. And that's going to stitch on the inside, of which it's going to flip over on the inside to become like a facing. Okay, so here everything is pinned all around the top. And remember, this is going to flip to the inside because it's going to become the facing. So that's a nice clean finish on the inside. So when you look inside of the pant, you'll be looking inside of the same material as your face fabric. And of course, below that, on the inside, all of this will be covered with a lining. And here is my finished faux leather pants, sewn primarily on my Vintagesinger 1588 treadle machine. I really love the outcome of the pants. I did go ahead with a lining. I didn't show that on video, but of course you sew the lining the same exact way that you do your outside face fabric. Simple hem is different for everyone, so I didn't show that on camera as well. But just love the garment. And again, this is paired with the little peplum top that I was working on as well. And eventually I'll be showing a video on that together at some point. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. This wasn't really a full tutorial, it was more a demonstration of how to sew the faux leather on my Vintagesinger, along with some sewing tips on sewing the pants and leather, as well as demonstrating top stitching on my industrial machine, and of course the zipper with my beloved Juki HCL F600. But again, guys, this is Lerylyn with House of Akoti Design. Please like, share, and subscribe if you've learned anything or enjoyed watching the channel or just helping to support me grow this YouTube channel. Please hit the like and subscribe. Follow me on other social media platforms, TikTok, House of Akoti Design, Instagram, @House of Akoti, and Facebook, House of Akoti Design and Gifts. Thanks for watching, guys, and tune in for everything sewing and embroidery and sewing tips. Have a great day. Bye.